Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Delaney. And today's video is one of my favorite videos of the entire year, and I know that you guys have been waiting for it as well, but I was anticipating summer ending. I wasn't wanting it to be over. I mean, I still don't want it to be over, and I've been doing tons of research for the trends, so sorry it took a little while, but it is here now, and we are going to dive into the 2024 fall fashion trends, which I'm so excited for. Fall is my favorite season of them all, shortly after summer, and fall fashion is definitely shortly before summer, I meant to say. They're neck and neck, you know, but fall fashion is my absolute favorite as well, so I'm so excited to dive into this. If you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, it means the world to me, and like, comment, any videos that you want to see coming up, I'll always add them to my list and try to get to them. Let's do it. Okay, something I also always preface in these videos is the way that I do my research for this is I do a ton of online browsing and also shopping, and I take account everything that I'm seeing online from the retailers. It gives me a really good sort of pulse on what's happening in the fashion industry, and then also I love to read up on publications like Vogue, Refinery 29, Elle, Cosmopolitan, anything like that. And I also love just kind of getting intel from social media, Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram. I'll watch other YouTube videos. Pretty much any and all social media is a great way to get engaged with these trends as well. And then also just everything that I'm seeing in real life is a great way to tell as well. So that is how I do all of that. But obviously this is just my interpretation of the trends, the ones that I am most inspired by and wanted to talk about, but there's no right or wrong way to do trends or research them or look into them. Okay, the number one trend that I want to talk about, I mean, it is the first one. I'm not saying it's like number one, like it's the best one, but it is a really good one, and I have seen it literally so much, is suede. If you guys have done any reading or watching of other trend videos, I would not be surprised if they mentioned suede, because I feel like it is absolutely just taking over, and it's obviously a perfect material for fall and winter. It just gives that like cozy, earthy, warm feeling, and we are going to be seeing suede in everything. So I have been seeing a ton of suede dresses, which I think are really cute in like a mini dress. I just got this little, it's actually a romper, but it looks like a dress, which I love, and it's just a little, it's from Amanda Uprichard, I don't know how to say that, but it's just like a really cute little sort of like mauve-y color suede, really short looking dress, and I think it's gonna be so cute layered with like sweaters and basics underneath with boots. So in dresses, in skirts and shorts is also huge. Again, I think like the shorter skirts of that and like the micro shorts, so cute in suede. Also, of course, jackets, that's very standard. Bags and boots as well, seeing a ton of those, which I feel like we see those probably every fall because it's just kind of a classic piece, but specifically this fall is just going to be a huge thing. And outside of just general suede, something that is also really big is like embellished and studded suede. So maybe in jackets, purses, shoes again, and also fringe on the suede is also really happening. So there's so many different ways to incorporate this and wear this, and I think it's really easy, and everybody, I'm assuming, will like this trend. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is something I read on the Pinterest trend report, which is a really fun thing to read. It's basically like intel from the platform of Pinterest, which I think is such a good place to get information, especially for trends, because you know, if you're a Pinterest girly like myself, that is just like the epitome of inspiration. We go on that app and we feel like we're in a different world. Like that is the place to just feel inspired and connected to all these things, and it is so much more calming of a space than other social media platforms, especially for trend information, I would say. So I love reading the Pinterest trend report, and something that I read about on there for fall trends is like layering and patterns and all these like interesting ways of pairing those things together. They actually called it on their experimental layering, which I love, and I definitely see that happening a lot, especially with like Gen Z style. So think like jerseys and lace skirts or dresses over pants, things like that, where it's just experimental and putting it out there a little bit more. It's more funky, it's more fun, and it's more daring for sure. And we are going to continue seeing that going into fall and winter of this year. And like I said, Pinterest is a great way to dictate that because they go based off of like how much percentage something has increased on being searched or pinned or whatever. And then some patterns specifically that are really big that play into this trend are leopard print is not going anywhere. It is absolutely going to continue to be huge, which is music to my ears because it is literally my favorite print of all time. And just animal print in general. So leopard, zebra, giraffe even is really cool. Cow print is really big. Tiger print, anything in all of that, just so fun. And then camo, which is probably honestly my other favorite print of all time, is also not going anywhere. That has been big for a couple of seasons, I would say. And honestly, I grew up in a place and also a family that like everyone wears camo literally all the time, and I wear camo in like an ironic way, but not like a literal way. But I know so many people that wear it just more in a literal way, and I just will always love it. I always have. So I love that it's still around, and it's so fun to like mix and match it with these other prints and patterns. Like this shirt that I have on today could honestly fit into this trend of the patterns and prints and layering and everything with, you could pair this with like leopard print and it would be so chaotic and crazy, but really cool. Okay, then we're gonna switch gears from something less risky, I would say, to something more timeless and classic that is currently trending, and that is bootcut jeans. A fun fact about me is I actually grew up working at Lucky Brand jeans, and I loved our bootcut jeans. I think they were called the Lola back then. I don't know if they still are. But anyways, I have been seeing so many bootcut jeans, especially on Pinterest actually. And I love them because they're really classic and timeless. You can pair them with a bunch of different things. And I do think that they are really flattering. They're kind of like slimming and elongating. And I think that they look so good with a pointed toe shoe, like a slingback or a boot. And that just creates this elongated look, then also paired with the bootcut jeans. So I really like this trend. I think that it's gonna go really well with like button-ups, with a little sweater over top, an off-the-shoulder sweater paired with belts, which are also really huge right now. Just kind of this like chic old money vibe, but with a boot cut, which makes it like a little bit Western. And it's all kind of going together. Someone who actually sort of encapsulates that aesthetic really well is Jordan Sloan. I don't know if you guys follow her on social media, but she is definitely like giving that vibe right now, and she makes it look so stunning. So that's kind of like a good way to see that. The next one is a bit of a controversy, but I have mentioned it in a few previous videos because it has also been trending for a couple of seasons, and according to my research, it is still going to be trending. And that trend would be capris, which supposedly is like nails on a chalkboard for millennials in particular, which I am a millennial, but I'm actually down with capris. I am also on the shorter side, which makes capris a little bit scarier, but I do just like love experimenting with fashion and trying trends and just like getting inspired by things. And even if I don't end up wearing capris a ton, I love seeing them on other people. I do think that they're very fashionable and chic, and I also love like the vintage feel that they give. And in one of my previous videos, I actually remember mentioning that the name capris actually came from the island of Capri in Italy. Like that's where they started wearing those, and that's where it got its name, which I just thought was super cool and interesting. But I'm excited to see people style these for fall. Like I said, I might not do it a ton, but I definitely will try it out. I recently got a pair of leopard print capris, so I'm mixing those two trends together, and I think they're so fun. I think with like a ballet flat and a button up, it's more like early fall vibes because capris kind of give a summery feel. So transitioning from summer to fall, I think they're gonna be great, but also wearing them a little bit later into fall with maybe like a chunky off the shoulder knit sweater could be really cute. Maybe with like a slingback pointed toe heel, or maybe still with a ballet flat. Okay, the next one is something I'm really excited for. I think a lot of people can get behind this because I think this is universally flattering, unlike capris, and also this would match really well with capris. And that trend is the cinched waist. I read about this, I think, on Refinery 29, but I've also just been seeing it everywhere on social media, on websites, retailers, all that kind of good stuff. And the way that I'm like picturing this and what I've seen a lot of is, of course, blazers that have a lot of structure on the top, like the shoulders, and then the waist is super cinched in. If the blazer doesn't have that actual structure, it's also really easy to throw on like a waist belt and create that, which is really fun. And like I said, belts are really trending, so that is a great way to tie in that trend as well. Other examples that I've seen of that, there is a Jenny Kane sweater that is viral. I forget the name of it, but that it's creating that shape. So this trend is kind of about like curves and creating curves, and normally in a cardigan or a sweater, I feel like we wouldn't see this like cinched sort of shape or the curves, but this one has that, which it was the first one that I remember seeing of that, and everybody's obsessed with it. It looks amazing on people, but there's also like curved shoulders and arms that I'm seeing a lot of that also create these curves, and usually like a cinched waist paired with it. A brand that does that a lot that I see is Awake Mode, which is like a pricey, fancy brand, but a more affordable version, or like reminds me of that trend or incorporates it, I should say, into their brand, is Odd Muse. So it's just creating these like curves on the clothing and cinches, which is really beautiful, and I love the structure of it. Another example that I can think of off the top of my head is I remember seeing a post by Molly May on Instagram where she was wearing a Jacquemus blazer that was like really cinched or curved or something, and I was like, that is just so stunning. Like, it was a beautiful piece of clothing. So I'm really excited for this trend. I think it looks great on everyone, and it's so fashionable. Usually every season there tends to be like one or two color trends that are really strong, and I would say for this year the one that has stood out the most to me that I've seen a ton of, and I definitely just think it's happening, is like an olive green color. So last year I feel like we went super hard for this like deep bright, or like those contradictory things, for this like true red color. Everything was like a pop of red or just pure red, and it was honestly so fun. I was so here for that. Like, I remember the red tights everywhere last year, and that was amazing. This year it's a little bit more muted, it's a little bit more toned down. Like, an olive army green is obviously a really like calming color, and it's not something that's out of a lot of people's comfort zones, I would say, where red was a little bit more out there. So I'm excited for this. I think that it's so fitting for fall. It looks nice with so many different things. I love olive green with denim. I also love it with brown and cream. It goes with all those fall colors. A way to style this is obviously with like pops if you want. So a hat, a bag, a scarf, shoes, or like monochromatic color drenching is always a vibe as well. So just like a full green outfit could be super cool. If I were to say like a secondary color of the season, if you don't like olive green for whatever reason, I've been seeing tons and tons of maroon as well, which I feel like was also really popular last year, a little bit less than the red, but those are both like really classic fall colors, so it totally makes sense that they would be trending. Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about is actually a shoe trend, and that is a kitten heel boot, which I'm really excited for because I love a kitten heel in general. Whether like, no matter what the rest of the shoe is like, I just appreciate that it's a kitten heel because I cannot walk in heels very easily. I find them so uncomfortable, and I also feel like awkward usually when I'm walking in them. I don't know, I just didn't like grow up wearing heels, so I feel like I missed the boat on that one. But I like a kitten heel so much because I feel like it's way more manageable and I don't feel as uncomfortable in it. And I also think that it just looks really chic, and I like that vintage feel that goes with it. Not necessarily pairing this with the capris because I don't think a boot goes with capris really, but I mean, I could be proven wrong. But I do think a kitten heel is so nice with capris and like a slingback or a sandal. But I'm really excited for the boot kitten heels. I personally really like the wide ones. I just think that that looks really good with a kitten heel. If I were to wear a tighter fitting boot, I would want the heel to be taller. But I think there's so many different ways to wear these. They're a classic and a staple. And like I said, I just love that they're more wearable than any other heel height. Okay, the next one I also read about on Refinery 29, I believe, and it's asymmetrical hems. So I have seen so much of this on retailers, and basically that is just like when things are uneven. So I have seen this a lot on dresses, and very like fancy dresses and very chic looking dresses, which I would never really think would go with an asymmetrical hem because it's just not as clean looking, but I have seen it done so well. I can't remember the brand, but I'm thinking of this one dress that I've seen on Shopbop that is so beautiful, and it has an asymmetrical hem, and it was just shocking to me that I liked it so much because I feel like I would not normally go for that. Another way that we see this a lot is with like ruffles, which I think that is more predictable of this trend and something that I gravitate towards more than this like fancy dress I'm referencing. But for like a fun, flirty, like Carrie Bradshaw vibe, asymmetrical hems with like frills and ruffles and like flowiness, I think is really a fun way to execute this trend. I've also seen it a lot in tops, so it can be in all different ways, but just if you see something that's like uneven, asymmetrical, it's having a moment. Okay, the next one is something I read about on Vogue, and I think they called it like country house weekends, and it is basically this like country aesthetic, but it's very chic. And it's less Western, like traditional Western in my mind, and more, I don't know, it has like a bit of an East Coast influence in my mind. Like a mix between West and East Coast. I feel like the examples of this are like a long plaid skirt in like a really chic way, not like a boho way. Maybe a little boho. I don't really know how to explain it. I'll try to put pictures up here so that you guys can see, but just this like country, very feminine feel, but also not being like overly feminine, if that makes sense. So not like pinks and not florals and not necessarily like anything like that, but just it's almost like this motherly feel or something. I don't really know how to explain it, but just think like a long plaid skirt with maybe like a shawl and or like a cape sweater and boots or something. You guys get what I'm saying? Or is this really weird? We'll use some pictures from the Vogue section where they spoke about this too, and maybe that will make it all make sense. But I do have this like vision where it makes sense to me in my head. And the one thing that I go back to is that skirt, and then also maybe like a belt with it. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like this one, I'm not able to. You guys are just gonna have to catch my vibe on this one because I don't know what I'm saying. Oh, something that I wrote down from the article that maybe will help portray this better is tweeds, herringbones, argyles, plaid. So do you get what I'm saying? How it's like a little bit country, like you live in a cottage in a prairie or on a farm or something. Maybe it's giving Little House on the Prairie. Maybe that's what I'm looking for, but I don't know. Let me know if you guys are catching my drift. Okay, and then the last one I wanted to talk about, I also consider to be a classic, timeless iteration of dressing that is pretty much always in style in my book, but doing my research, it came up as a trend as well, and that's what we're here for. So that would be denim on denim. Like I said, I think that this is literally always a good idea, and I personally love it year round and every single year. A version of this that I've been seeing a lot lately that I have also partaken in is like on sets. So Meshki came out with this set I think months ago, this like denim top with the matching shorts, and it sold out really fast, and it has been sold out for a while. It came back in stock a few times and I've seen it sell out both times. I snagged it. I managed to snag it one time, and I love the top. It's like a high neck top with these buttons, and then it splits at the bottom, and it kind of has that cinched waist as well. It is so cute. It's so chic, and you can pair it with so many things. I've loved wearing it with leopard print on the bottom. I also love it with more denim. Like I said, the denim on denim trend, which is what I'm supposed to be focusing on. But anyways, I love that top. I think it's so cute, and I've seen a lot of things like that. Another brand that I really love their take on denim is Damson Matter. They have the cutest stuff. They're like a Scandinavian brand, and everything is so cute and cool. And I have sort of like one of those cinched waist puff sleeve tops from them that's denim with matching denim cargo pants, and it's like a fun, more street styly take on denim, and I love the way that it looks. But of course, just like a denim button up is always a good idea, paired with maybe the boot cut jeans, a pointed toe heel, a belt. There's so many different ways to wear this, like so many different little flares that you can put on this trend, and because it's like a classic and a timeless, there's like, you can just mix the things that you already have in your closet, the two denim pieces. Okay, so that is it for today's video. I am so excited about this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what other Fashion Friday videos you guys want to see this fall. I can't wait for them. Favorite time of year for fashion. And as always, I appreciate you guys being here so much. And I'll see you next time.